If hockey really does have a speed limit, Connor McDavid blew past it years ago. From his first skate slice in an Oilers jersey, he made the NHL look like a game running at half speed while he stayed in fast forward. 10 seasons later, after eclipsing 1,000 career points faster than anyone not named Gretzky, Lemieux, or Bossy, he's no longer chasing hype, he's chasing ghosts. Yet a single question still hangs over every highlight reel rush. Just how good is he really? Today we'll rewind to the teenage prodigy who forced scouts to rewrite their grading scale, fast forward through a cavalcade of records, zoom into the biomechanics that make him look like a glitch in real time, and then project whether 2,000 points and a Stanley Cup are truly in play. Buckle up, at McDavid's top gear, this ride moves quickly. Long before McJesus trended on Canadian Twitter, a 15-year-old from Newmarket petitioned Hockey Canada for exceptional status, the legal cheat code that let him enter Major Junior a year early. Granting the waiver wasn't just rare, it was controversial. Reserved only for prodigies like John Tavares and Aaron Ekblad, McDavid promptly justified every raised eyebrow by scoring 66 points in 63 OHL games against players up to 4 years older. That was merely the prologue. 2 years later, he detonated the league with 120 points in 47 contests, ripping through defensive schemes as if controller lag didn't apply to him. Scouts stopped comparing him to his peers and started comparing him to eras. Next Crosby on conservative days, next Gretzky on bold ones. When the 2015 draft arrived, Edmonton didn't just call his name, they handed him the keys to a franchise that hadn't celebrated a Stanley Cup parade since McDavid was in diapers. The expectations were impossible. His response, so was he. Edmonton's rebuild had been stuck in neutral, but McDavid hit the league like a shot of jet fuel. By age 25, he had already bagged 5 Art Ross trophies, 3 Ted Lindsay awards, and 2 Hart Memorial trophies, joining Gretzky as the only skaters to claim 5 100-point seasons before turning 26. His 2022-23 campaign, 153 points, was the juiciest single-season total in nearly 30 years, a feat tucked inside an era where goalies are biomechanical vault doors and defensive structures resemble chess puzzles. Critics muttered power play merchant until the tracking data screamed back, McDavid generates more 5-on-5 scoring chances than entire forward lines. When he rifled in a one-timer on November 14th, 2024 to become the 4th fastest and 4th youngest player to 1,000 points, doing it in 659 games. The milestone felt less like the crowning of a career than the first checkpoint of a speed run. A season later, he rang up another 100-point docket, bringing his regular season ledger to 1,103 points in 712 games, good for 1.55 points per outing, an absurd rate only Gretzky and Lemieux maintained for any serious length of time. And he doesn't pad on empty calories. No modern skater creates more controlled ozone entries or turns more dump and chase situations into clean possessions. His nightly routine is statistical vandalism. Some stars smolder from October through April and cool in the crucible of May. McDavid isn't one of them. Across 96 playoff tilts, he's stacked 150 points, 1.56 per game, slotting him second in the all-time postseason leaderboard behind only the spectral figure of Wayne Gretzky. The 2022 run set the tone, multi-point explosions in 9 of his first 10 outings, something no one in the league's century-long history had accomplished. 2 years later, he shattered Gretzky's single postseason assist record, threading 34 helpers in just 25 games, while steering Edmonton to its first final appearance since 2006. The Oilers ultimately bowed out to the Florida Panthers in back-to-back championship rounds, 2024 and 2025, but McDavid's playoff stat lines couldn't comprehend defeat. 33 points in 16 games the first year, 38 and 25 the second. When the stakes rise, he doesn't just maintain his throttle, he finds another gear. Speed is McDavid's most obvious weapon, yet calling him merely fast is like calling a smartphone merely portable. He wins at the NHL fastest skater with times hovering near 13.4 seconds, but raw sprint speed is only the headline. The subtext is edge control, so refined he can pivot at full gallop without losing glide. Biomechanics experts call it triple flexion, where ankle, knee, and hip work in perfect sync to maximize ice contact. His top in-game bursts have been clocked above 24 miles per hour hour, but the real magic occurs when he throttles down, lures defenders into overstepping, then rockets back to full tilt in 2 strides. Add an east-west vision package that identifies passing lanes most players don't perceive until they watch the replay, and you have what coaches dub a rolling power play at even strength. Puck tracking data confirms he completes a higher percentage of cross-slot feeds than any forward since the NHL introduced its real-time tracking chips. And the training, off-seasons blend overspeed treadmills, VR simulated reads, and cognitive processing drills that resemble esports more than gym work. His edge is equal parts physiology and software update. History says 2,000 NHL points is a frontier humans do not cross. Only Gretzky sits beyond the gate, with Jagr peering in from 1,921, yet McDavid's map looks different. He's 28 with 1,103 points banked and 12 seasons before he blows out 40 candles. If he averages a Crosby-like slate, 75 games and 1.1 points per night, he'll stack roughly 990 more points and finish around 2,093. Even a sharper decline rate still projects him brushing shoulders with Gordie Howe. Skeptics cite the inevitable creep of Father Time, but modern sports science is rewriting senescence. Nutritionists, sleep coaches, and data-driven load management squeeze extra prime years from elite skaters. McDavid's style also ages well. His genius lies less in brute speed, though he has plenty, than in a processor that reads the ice faster than anyone alive. Vision doesn't wrinkle. For all his merciless ledger crunching, McDavid's resume still comes with a conspicuous blank line: Stanley Cup champion. He's tasted the final twice and swallowed bitter defeat twice, rekindling the old debate: can the greatest tag land without a ring? History offers supporting evidence on both sides. Steve Yzerman waited 14 years before his coronation, while Marcel Dion and Dale Hawerchuk never lifted silver yet live in the Hall's penthouse suite. McDavid's next chapter might hinge on cap-crunched roster decisions looming in 2026 when he's set to become an unrestricted free agent. Does he sign Edmonton's max-term love letter and finish what he started, or chase the cup like late-career Ray Bourque? Whichever path he chooses, the clock won't tick quietly. Every spring without the parade amplifies the chorus, asking whether personal brilliance can outrun collective shortfalls. Off the rink, McDavid has evolved from shy wonderkind into a multimedia brand. His wedding to interior designer Lauren Kyle turned Edmonton gossip pages into lifestyle glossies, and Kyle's luxury home label recently expanded into hospitality via Bartrove, a heritage-building cocktail den part owned by the McDavid household. Sponsors follow the sparkle: Adidas signatures, Rogers billboards, CIBC ads where he casually glides through LED bank vaults. On social channels, his highlight montages routinely outstream entire NBA game clips, evidence that at least digitally, one player can shift hockey's global ceiling. He's equally active behind the scenes, fronting an annual Pro-Am charity tournament and sinking six-figure donations into youth rinks across Alberta. The stat sheet might land him in record books. The civic footprint secures his name on community plaques. Strip away the adjectives and compare cold numbers. McDavid scores like Lemieux, skates like Pavel Bure on turbo, sees the ice like Nicholas Bäckström wearing X-ray specs, and performs under playoff fire like prime Marc Messier. Somewhere in that Venn diagram sits a talent profile the league has never encountered in one body. Yet greatness is part art, part arithmetic. The art says no one has ever dominated modern shifts moment to moment as McDavid does. The arithmetic says he's on pace to finish top 5 in points, maybe top 2, and break playoff assist marks once thought welded to Gretzky's trophy case. Fuse those metrics and you arrive at a simple truth: the only man who can keep Connor McDavid from redefining best ever is Connor McDavid, and he looks wholly uninterested in self-sabotage. When McDavid debuted, commentators wondered whether he could live up to generational hype. A decade later, the conversation has flipped. Can hockey's record books keep up with him? Every game he inches closer to 2,000 points. Every spring he drags Edmonton deeper into May. Every stride he takes at warp speed widens the gap between next Gretzky and only McDavid. Maybe the most telling part isn't how quickly he shreds milestones, but how normal the impossible already feels when he does it. In other words, we're witnessing the countdown to immortality in real time. So place your marker. What season does he hit 2,000? And does the parade roll down Jasper Avenue or someplace new? Let us know below, because the only thing moving faster than Connor McDavid is the conversation about what he'll conquer next.